Trulia is here today with Donald Pearson, CEO of Kurfiss Sotheby's International Realty. Donald, thank you for being with us today.
My pleasure.
Please tell us about Kurfiss.
Well, Kurfiss, I purchased actually in 1992. I've had it for about 15 years. Kurfiss, now Kurfiss Sotheby's International Realty, is a company with 6 offices. We started off in Bucks County. We now cover the Lehigh Valley, where Bethlehem's the capital, and we as well now have coverage of the greater Philadelphia area, Philadelphia being the 5th largest city in the United States. Kurfiss last year did about $1 million a day of business, for a total of about $365 million. This year will be interesting. I think it will be slightly less, but still we're growing and intend to grow even more next year.
And recently you made a change to Sotheby's from Christie's Great Estates.
That's correct.
Can you tell us a little bit about the change?
Yes, absolutely. Firstly, I'd say that Christie's, it was a great experience for me. I learned a lot from Christie's, not having come from the real estate sector. I'm from the banking sector. In fact, I've been in banking in Brazil for about 25 years. That's a story in itself. But we made this investment, and we've made it as a business investment. I do not sell or list real estate. I run an investment that we have made. The reason I made the change was that Christie's is very successful in print, particularly with their magazine. Sotheby's today, is the newly structured Sotheby's, is very much predicated on a broader marketing strategy. That includes print, but it gives significant emphasis to branding, as you see by some of the recs and lifestyle brandings in the different magazines, such as Architectural Digest. But more importantly, they have really invested in the area of technology and understand that the internet is the marketing platform for real estate today. If you want to service your client, which is we consider a fiduciary responsibility, I often compare it to private banking. Somebody in a private bank will give you $5 million. It's an extraordinarily important fiduciary role that you're given. I think real estate has to be treated the same way. It's even a more complicated asset than some of the financial instruments you deal in. It's a less regulated industry, for example. But I believe the client, besides getting their home properly marketed, and marketing is not advertising, marketing is advertising, branding, pricing, and of course, getting the broadest possible marketing reach through the internet. So basically, I feel that Sotheby's has not only achieved that, but has by far the most qualified professionals in the sector today with strong business and real estate backgrounds. I also believe they're very hands-on. There's not a week that goes by where you don't have their support, whether it's through emails or even their physical presence. I've only been a member of the Sotheby's organization now for, I think, 2 months, 2.5 months, and I think I've had at least 8 to 9 face-to-face meetings with key executives here to support us in Bucks County and the greater Philadelphia area.
You're known for being an early adopter in terms of technology. Do you think that's critical given where the market is going now?
I have no doubt in my mind. I think it's changing the industry. I think it has changed the industry in every way. I think the players are different. I think the reach of the business is far greater. And I think the skills required are now far greater because the customer, the client, demands more. With an interesting statistic I heard during the height of the stock market boom, particularly in technology, that $1 million or above homes were purchased, I think 80% by people 35 years or older. I think that changed a bit after the stock market fell off, but it's still a very large and growing component of the buyers, and they only do business, for the most part, do business on the internet, where 80% of the buyers are browsing today. So that's where you want to put your emphasis. And then that in itself is a science. So you have to master the art of traffic, optimizing traffic. You have to master the art of content, which is an ongoing issue. And the report card on that is how long do they stay on your site. You have to master the lead management. Once you get a client, you respond to them immediately. That's their expectations. They're very impatient people. How are you structured for that? So it's a whole new mentality governing the business, I think, thereby making it a more exciting business, quite frankly.
What do you tell your agents who are worried about the most recent trends in the market? What do you tell them how to sort of come up on top and what it's going to take to survive the next 18 months?
Hard work, and also you have to have a strategy that meets the expectations of your clients. I'll give you an example. You could be very good at optimizing traffic because you have a very good outside consultant in doing that, and you have the resources to enter into the auctioning process. But once you do that, if you don't have content in your website and the agent is not cognizant of what that content is and constantly interested in it, and equally gives attention to their technical skills and responding to the client, hopefully while they're still on your website. We have, for example, the average time people spend on the website, I believe, is now 18 minutes. Well, if we, through the lead router program at Sotheby's, which allows you to translate data into voice, and you can get an email, and you can then have your telephone ring and organize that email in a voice message to you within 12 to 20 seconds, and you respond to that agent, or excuse me, to that inquirer who has sent an email while they're still on your website, you have an extraordinary advantage. So I think the skills of my argument would be you have to really refine these skills, but you have to treat a electronic call with the same skills you do as a landline call. You have to understand that that just because you get an email, when you respond to them, you have to be very careful in the language you use. You have to be very careful that you give them the information they want. You have to be absolutely certain that you have the follow-up and that you are monitoring your servicing of that client. So you can see just by all of these variables, the industry's changed extraordinarily.
What do you think 5 years from now will be the single biggest difference in terms of how we do business, now and how we're going to do business then?
I think you have far fewer locations. I think the idea of having scores of offices is part of the past. I don't think the future's in brick and mortar. I think it's in technology. I think technology will allow you to leverage to such a degree that the number of agents or professionals required to do the same volume of business will be significantly fewer, that the skills required will be significantly higher, and I think the rewards for those who are the final players, which would be far fewer than you have today, like any business, will be far greater. I also think the industry will be far better served with these changes. I have no doubt about it.
And last question, is the fact that the market is now a global one, did that affect your decision to go with Sotheby's as well? You now have a reach internationally.
Absolutely. You not only have a reach, they understand how to address that market. And Sotheby's is not just for fine homes that are $10 million or more. It's for quality in all price ranges. The brand, as they often compare it to the Tiffany. When you see that blue box, you don't need to have even the word Tiffany written on it. But you do know, no matter what's in that box, it has real quality. It could be a $150 wedding present, or it could be a $50,000 diamond ring. It's a stamp of approval. It's like Price Waterhouse putting their certificate on a financial statement. I think Sotheby's reflects that, and I think commands, not demands, but commands the respect of the market. And I think they're structured internationally whereby, even on their website, they attract people by lifestyles or by different categories. So the wealthy today, for example, unlike just a few years ago, you'd have to pay $20 million or $10 million for a jet. Now the new jets are coming out for $1.5 million. The 85,000 people around the world have $30 million of personal assets or more. And these are people that will buy something according to lifestyle, not necessarily in terms of where it's located demographically. So I think a lot of things are changing. Global marketing is crucial. The profile of our buyers, since we, not only with Sotheby's, but based on the investments we made in our own website and other links we have with luxury real estate, etc. We have, I would say, at least 40% of our buyers come from outside the area. When I got into this business, that was unheard of. You had local advertising, you didn't even have marketing. People hired people because of their local connections. That was the importance of bringing in the agents, and the reasons for changing the commission structures. Each one had their own sort of bailiwick in which they operated in. Those days are over. I mean, you don't attract outside buyers with that local sort of a strategy. The other way you can have the broadest market reach is the internet, and then you have major players in the real estate sector in that particular, in terms of website development, in terms of the subsidiary issues that govern that. And Sotheby's, again, I believe, is ahead of the rest. And I think they are not only ahead, but picking up momentum. And so I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
Terrific. Al Pearson, CEO of Kurfiss Sotheby's International Realty, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.